Good morning, Caleb. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good to see you, Sarah. It's been like a long time now.
I know I'm so grateful that we have this opportunity to reconnect and to talk about our ongoing partnership between the KMFRC and Resolve, which is all made possible by the funding we receive from the United Way.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. I never actually knew that until a little while ago when we were first asked to talk about this. I've always been really thankful for the KMFRC for providing this free counseling to a lot of clients, and the clients that I've gotten to work with have also been really, really thankful. But I always thought that was just the KMFRC being able to provide that. I didn't know that the United Way actually funds that part of you guys. That's to me really amazing.
Yes, it's so incredible, especially for us, the KMFRC being a nonprofit organization. We're so lucky that we receive the funding and can offer this to so many clients and be able to have continued our partnership with Resolve for so many years. And I think that having this ongoing relationship has been such a benefit to our clients, particularly because, as you and I have chatted a lot about the different unique needs of military families, one of the ones that I hear often when clients come in for intakes is that they really kind of want to talk to somebody who might have a little bit of an understanding of what the military is about or what some of those challenges are. And since Resolve has been working with us for so many years, I think that you and the other counselors who work with our community have kind of gained some of that insight and perspective and experience to be able to bring that to new clients who are coming in, which I think is such a benefit.
I know that for myself, I've worked at Resolve for about 5 years now, and Resolve has been working with the United Way and with KMFRC for a lot longer than how long I've been at Resolve. So it is really nice to know that we do have that partnership that doesn't just benefit us, but as therapists, we've been able to get experience working with military families. Um, Even though I'm not in the military, I can't personally relate to them, but from all the times that I've talked with clients, the experiences they've shared with me help me have a bit of an understanding, at least for what military families are going through. So I can definitely empathize with them and imagine some of the stuff that they're experiencing. I know that for a lot of military families, they they get really used to moving around a lot. Um,
Mm.
from what I understand, it's pretty much on average every 3 years a family moves around, and sometimes it's different cities, but a lot of the time it's into different provinces.
Mhm.
And especially for kids, but even for the adults, that means moving away from family, moving away from friends, moving away from a school that you're just getting used to. So that adds on complexity to the normal life issues that families go through. Is not having that social support base that a lot of other families, that when they move to a place, they know that they're going to be in for a long time and can set roots. But yeah, military families definitely experience unique issues that other families don't often go through as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think that has been even maybe a little bit enhanced during the pandemic, during COVID, the
Hmm.
past, year and a half. A lot of people, the postings were still happening throughout that time. And so a lot of people, particularly we've seen people who've moved to Kingston who don't know anybody and haven't had the opportunity to go out and meet people, or we at the KMFRC haven't been able to host any, in-person events for them to meet people. So I
Hmm.
think, the isolation has kind of increased a little bit in that sense. And so when things, either opened up during a phase, especially in Kingston when we were doing a little bit better, or now that things are opened up a little bit more, I think they're still facing some of that isolation because they don't really know as many people to go out and spend time with. So yes, they can go out with family, but sometimes you want to connect with somebody that you haven't been stuck inside a house with for the past year and a half, which is understandable.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Being able to meet new people is even more difficult because everybody's a lot more hyper aware of who they're interacting with and who they're spending time with, and they're wanting to spend time with people they haven't seen in a long time, and not just thinking about developing new relationships. Whereas military families, um, it seems like they're very much focused on needing to develop new relationships, especially if they move to Kingston if they haven't been here before.
Mhm.
One thing I was kind of wondering about is I've noticed an increase in clients coming from KMFRC. Has that just been something that me as one of the counselors at Resolve has experienced, or is that kind of an overall pattern that you've noticed too?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. There has definitely been an increase over the past year since the pandemic started of people that we've referred for longer term counseling. I think that people who were facing different mental health concerns prior to COVID, sometimes they were increased, or people were met with new mental health concerns that maybe hadn't really been a big part of their life before. And now all of a sudden it was something that they kind of were having to learn how to manage. And so actually since March 2020, so I guess when things started, when COVID kind of
Mhm.
started,
Yeah.
we have referred 63 clients to
Oh wow.
Resolve. And that has totaled 367 hours of counseling that you and Resolve have provided to our families. So, and that is, of course, all made possible because we have the funding from United Way. And I know that I've heard from clients like how grateful they are to hear that that's an option, right? To say, because especially during COVID too, financial concerns were really big for people. And so the thought of, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to continue providing for my family, and then to have to think about, well, am I going to have to pay for counseling or therapy services for myself or for my family? For us to be able to offer that to them and say, we can give you this long-term option, and it's paid for and it's funded for. I think that was such a huge weight kind of lifted off of their shoulders a little bit.
Absolutely. And like I know at Resolve, our our fee for service is less than if you were to go to a private practice person because we're not for profit. But even so, at Resolve, it's still expensive
Mm.
for families that don't always have that income, don't always have that resource. So absolutely, having the KMFRC being able to tap into that United Way funding has been a huge support.
Mhm.
And I, I love the work that the United Way does because they don't just reach the KMFRC, they don't just reach Resolve, but they do so many different um, things for so many different organizations, and it's amazing how they really do like wrap all of Kingston,
Mhm.
not just focus on one bit or the other. So I really like that that you and I get to talk, but on the bigger scale, Resolve and KMFRC get to talk, and on the bigger scale, the United Way is really helping a lot of organizations meet the community needs where they're at. So I want to give a big thank you to the KMFRC, but especially to the United Way as well, to allow these kind of partnerships to really flourish and bring benefit to the community.
Absolutely. I agree. Like a huge thank you to them. And I think you and I both know from working directly with clients that people who feel more kind of like confident and have the support, whether it be mental health support, within their community, then they participate more in the community, they give back to the community, and it kind of just like it benefits in a way, Kingston as a whole, as people are feeling more confident in wanting to participate. So I think that's a huge piece. Um, and I don't know if you have any specific like client testimonies or stories, but what have you seen as just being kind of like a general impact of clients, like when they come to you or they, first meet with you or when they end working with you? What is their kind of response to being able to have this opportunity that's provided to them to have that long-term counseling?
Well, I think that especially with a lot of military families that I've gotten to work with, either working with kids, working with the parents, or the whole families, one thing that I've really seen in military families is that there is a resiliency that they have, a really strong ability to overcome things, but they don't always recognize it in themselves. And so in counseling, I find that a lot of times my job is not to give them new resources or new abilities or new tools, but to help them realize that they already are really smart. They're already really able to overcome a lot of these things. And really, I find my job is to help them believe in themselves. And so what I often see is when clients come in the door, they're not as confident in themselves or as understanding how well they're able to overcome things that they already have overcome. And then by the time they're walking out, they're they're more relieved and refreshed that, I can take this on. I can make this work. Kingston is a new place. It's not as big of a city, or it's way bigger of a city than I'm used to, because we're kind of in that middle range. Um, but it's no longer intimidating, I think, and just being able to know that they have a place to come back to. A really neat thing is actually, I have a few clients that I've worked with 3-4 years ago, and they're needing to come back, but they know that they can come back, and knowing that they have this resource through the KMFRC and through the United Way. I think just knowing that they have that, it is a huge support for them whenever they need to reach out and get that help.
Yeah, I think knowing that for sure is a big one. And we often get people coming back who are specifically requesting you, Caleb. So we're fortunate that we have the United Way so that they can see you and they're not stuck with just me.
Mhm. Well, we can definitely keep talking about this forever, because I love talking about communities really working together to help out people, especially help out the military families that are so important, not just to Kingston, but to our whole nation. Um, However, I know that we're both busy. We probably have to get back to work, but I really want to thank you for taking some time and chatting with me about uh, how much the United Way has really impacted us.
Yes, no, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I think it's great to be able to see it from, on both ends, right? From the beginning to then, the referral over. So, yes, thank you so much to you and to the United Way as well.
Awesome. Talk to you later.
Bye.